Hello. I'll just wait a moment and see who's there. I'm Kizzy, and I have recently, in fact last week, done my toddler calm training with CalmFamily. So I self-isolated after being in a hotel for a week. Yes, I'll just see if anybody is around. Sorry people on the replay. I hope you're all okay. It's not as sunny as yesterday, which is a bit disappointing, but still nice enough for washing to be on the line. If you can hear me and you're there, give me a thumbs up or a love or something along those lines. Yes, right, there's a few people watching, so I am going to start. So I'm Kizzy. I've just trained with Toddler Calm, and I'm also a carrying consultant. Before I became a parent, I was a early years teacher. Well, I taught all of primary, but my interest is more in early years and Key Stage 1. And prior to that, I was a play worker. Hi, Emily. I was a play worker and used to run residential holidays and play schemes and things like that, and supported parents through play. So my learning activities are generally quite play-based, very open-ended. So I will be bringing you a live every day at 8 o'clock for as long as my brain can think of new ideas, and we need them, and CalmFamily are there to offer that support for you. So I just wanted to come on at this moment in time and just give you an idea of kind of what I'm going to be doing and my approach, so you can decide whether it's for you or for not. So what I'll do is I will decide on an area of learning, and then from that I will come up with some ways that you could maybe create activities around that. I'll give you some vocabulary that you can use. I'll give you some questions that you could possibly ask throughout the play. And I'll also give you some suggestions of how you can maybe extend those kind of activities, or where you may go next. Now, I will be reasonably vague because obviously your children are all going to be varying ages. So the themes that I've chosen, so the areas of learning that I have chosen, are quite easily adaptable. So if you've got children of a variety of ages at home, oh wow, nice, sounds good, Emily. So if you've got a range of ages at home, these activities should be able to be suitable for all, and it's just kind of adapting them slightly. So I'm not going to sit here and say, right, this is your learning outcome, this is how you have to do it, and these are the resources you have to have. I will tell you the kind of things you can look for, and I'll try and generally just choose stuff that's around your house or that you may have. Now, I'm aware that as an early years teacher, I have a house full of stuff. I'm a bit of a collector. So if I ever make a suggestion, presuming you would have that in your house, do shout and go, no, not everybody is as crazy as you. So some of the ideas, kind of like learning area themes that I will be covering, these may change because I might get a better idea to come in my head, are like bath activities. So I find quite often that actually if we've been home for a long time in the day, we may change of scenery and have bath time in the middle of the day. And yes, so it'll be some bath activities, thinking about sinking and floating, or you can even just do a water tray or a bucket or something like that. So some sinking, floating kind of water activities. Pancakes, quite basic ingredients, but you can do it with a range of kind of type of things. So we're really looking at property changes. So you could do jelly, you could do freezing, anything like that. I quite like pancakes. because I quite like pancakes. Emily, it's kind of afternoon. I guess it depends what time you woke up. Gravity is probably one of my favourite, just because it's so open-ended. There's so much you can do. Extending stories, growing, measuring, grouping, mark making, music, and history. So those are some of the things. They are quite broad topics. They're quite broad areas. So there are lots of things you can take from that and do with those. So what I'll do is I'm going to create a list of vocabulary that you may want to use, kind of follow-up activities, and how different areas of learning can come into each of those kind of topics. Some types of questions you may want to ask. The main thing is choose things that are in your home and that are your children's interest. And that's my aim, is to be able to give you those sort of suggestions so you can adapt them to suit your family. Does that make sense? It did in my head, and then now I've just spurted it out. I'm not sure it does make complete sense. So quick recap. I'll give you an area of learning. At 8 p.m, I'll go live. I'll give you some ideas that you could do to cover that area of learning. I'll give you some vocabulary that you may want to use. I'll give you some questions that you could ask, and I'll give you some possible suggestions of how you can extend it in, say, reading or writing, or whatever, if you're thinking specifically sort of subject types. By doing them live, it means that you can ask me questions and you can ask for ideas of resources, or if I don't make sense. Yeah. I am happy to, if people are wanting it, to do some phonics or something like that. That does involve using a bit of my brain that I've not used for a while, but if there is a request for it. My top tip would be, don't worry too much about set subjects. Don't think, oh, but we've got to do English, maths and science, and we have to do, this and we have to do that. I know those of you who are home ed already know this. And those of you who are maybe new to thinking about educating your children at home or doing things to entertain them at home, learning doesn't need to be sitting down reading and writing. The really good opportunity this gives us is to speak to our children and really communicate with them and play and enjoy them. And through the activity suggestions that I'm going to make, you'll have some fantastic conversations. And those conversations, you'll get some fantastic higher level communication and some different kind of vocabulary, which will really help them when they go back, or if they go back to formal learning. So tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock will be my first one. I shall see you then. Hope everybody has a lovely day. Bye.